Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
The internal world of your emotions is often a storm that seeks to pull you away from the cold logic of your mission. Many men allow their temporary moods to dictate their long-term actions, which is why they stay stuck in a cycle of being average. You must learn to view your softer impulses as noise that interferes with the clear signal of your highest and most ambitious goals. To achieve a level of legendary success, you must put your heart under the control of your will and your work. This process of mental surgery is the only way to ensure that your progress is never stopped by the fragile nature of a passing whim. When you allow the fear of discomfort to stop you from taking action, you are handing over the keys of your life to a coward. Your survival instincts were built for an old world, and they often mistake the stress of growth for a threat to your actual safety. You must develop the ability to watch your hesitation without giving it any power over your physical movements or your hard decisions. By acting in spite of your internal resistance, you are training your brain to put the mission above the preservation of your comfort zone. This detachment from your internal friction is what allows you to move with a speed that others find terrifying. The desire for the approval of others is a drive that will keep you anchored in a life of quiet desperation if you do not kill it. You cannot build a personal empire while you are constantly looking for a nod of agreement from people who do not share your drive. True power is found in the moment you realize that the opinions of the crowd have zero impact on the quality of your work. You must become a person who is fueled by an internal standard of excellence that is more demanding than anything the outside world expects. By isolating your ambition from the noise of social pressure, you gain the freedom to lead with total authority. Every time you choose to feel sorry for yourself, you are performing a slow act of suicide on your own potential. The world has no interest in your excuses or the reasons why you feel you have been treated unfairly by your life. You must replace the habit of complaining with a relentless focus on the actions that will change your reality for the better today. This shift in thinking transforms you from a passive victim of fate into a master of your own destiny and your own time. By refusing to let your internal drama slow down your momentum, you ensure that your energy is always directed toward the final victory. Discipline is the act of treating your feelings as data points that have no seat at the table of your big decisions. You must build a daily routine that is so solid it works as a protective fortress against the changes in your motivation. When the work is hard and the rewards are far away, it is your habits rather than your inspiration that keep you on the path. You must learn to value the result of the labor more than the comfort of the moment to ensure your rise is steady. This level of self-control is the hallmark of a leader who understands that the prize is only given to those who endure. The feeling of boredom is a common trap that lures the uninspired back into the shallow waters of digital distractions that provide no value. You must learn to sit with the silence of the plateau and use it to refine your focus and sharpen your most vital skills. If you are constantly running away from the quiet, you will never develop the depth of thought needed to produce a masterpiece. Your ability to stay engaged with the basics when the initial excitement has vanished is the true test of your resolve and your hunger. By mastering the boredom, you are proving that you have the heart to finish what you started. The memory of your past mistakes can act as a heavy weight that prevents you from stepping into the light of your current opportunities. You must learn to treat your history as a closed book that has already served its purpose in teaching you how to fight. Every minute you spend thinking about your old failures is a minute you are stealing from the construction of the version of yourself that wins. You have the power to change your identity at any second by choosing your vision over the echoes of your smaller existence. This mental freedom is the foundation of a life defined by your aim rather than your baggage. The pursuit of a target is never about the physical object or the status you gain when you finally reach the end. You must understand that the true value of any ambition is the mental change required to survive the journey to the top. Most individuals stay stuck because they hunt for a reward while trying to stay the same person they were when they started. You cannot have the life of a master if you are unwilling to burn away the small thinking of an amateur. The goal is just a tool used to force your character into a state of growth that demands total and absolute change. When you focus only on the prize, you miss the internal work that must be built to hold that level of success over time. A person who wins a lot of money stays the same person who was broke because their internal standards and discipline have not shifted. You must be willing to tear down your old self and rebuild your identity from the ground up to match your new vision. This process of becoming is more important than any trophy because it gives you a power that no one can take away. You are learning to move through the world with the presence and authority of a real leader. The failure of the majority comes from a shallow desire for the fruit of the labor without a real love for the work itself. They want the glory of the win without the scars of the battle or the exhaustion of the long and lonely training sessions in the dark. You must realize that the change is the actual point of the struggle and the goal is just the direction of your movement. If you refuse to adapt your behavior and your mindset, you will find that the rewards you seek stay out of reach. Only those who embrace the discomfort of a total personal overhaul will ever taste the sweetness of a win. A burning desire to change is the only fuel that is powerful enough to carry you through the storms and the periods of doubt. If your motivation is tied to the approval of others or the collection of hollow objects, you will quit when the pressure becomes intense. You must have a hunger to be different that is more powerful than your fear of the unknown or your attachment to safety. This internal fire allows you to endure the heat of the forge without breaking or losing your focus on the final version of yourself. When you want to grow more than you want to stay safe, you become a force. The concept of your feelings is entirely irrelevant to the execution of the tasks that are required for your climb toward your peak. If you wait until you feel inspired or motivated to do the work, you are handing over your destiny to the shifting winds of your moods. You must learn to act with a cold precision, regardless of whether you are tired or bored or feeling a sense of deep and heavy resistance. The mission does not care about your internal state, and it does not offer any sympathy for your emotional dramas. By ignoring your feelings, you are claiming a level of self-mastery that is the mark of a leader. The path to becoming someone new requires a level of consistency that most people find impossible because they are slaves to their own comfort. You must build a version of yourself that can function at a high level even when the path is dark and the end is not visible. This discipline is the evidence of your respect for your own potential and your refusal to live a life of quiet and bitter regret. Every choice to move forward when you are hurting is a vote for the person you have decided to become through your will. You are training your mind to obey your commands rather than reacting to pain. You must stop asking for a path that is easy and start asking for the character to handle a path that is difficult and meaningful. The ease you crave is the very thing that keeps you from discovering the hidden depths of your own resilience and your own unique intelligence. By choosing a challenge that forces you to change, you are giving yourself the chance to see what you are truly made of under pressure. This self-discovery is the most valuable asset you will ever own because it gives you a sense of certainty. You are becoming a person who knows how to win because you were forged in fire. Your old situation will only lose its grip on you when you become a person who is no longer a match for that small reality. If you find yourself surrounded by the same problems and the same people, it is because you have not yet made the internal shift required. You must elevate your thinking and your habits until your current environment feels like a suit of clothes that is several sizes too small for you. This internal growth naturally pushes you into a new world where higher levels of achievement and influence are the only possible outcome. You are not waiting for change, but creating it in yourself. The time it takes to become this new version of yourself is irrelevant, because the time will pass by whether you are growing or rotting. You might as well spend the next few years in the pursuit of excellence and the total mastery of your own internal world. Who cares if the transformation takes a decade when the alternative is to spend that same decade in a state of stagnation and despair? By committing to the long road, you are ensuring that your future self will be a person of substance and impact and authority. You are building a life that is a masterpiece of your own design. The feeling of being lost is not a permanent state, but a signal that your internal compass has no clear destination to lock onto today. You are drifting because you have not yet decided on a specific vision for your life that demands your full attention and your best effort. Most people wander through the years without a map and then wonder why they never reach a place of true meaning or lasting success. You must take a pen and define the person you intend to become with absolute clarity, so that your mind has a target to hit. This act of creation is the first step toward reclaiming your power and ending the cycle of endless and empty drifting. Defining who you want to become requires you to look beyond your current limits and visualize a version of yourself that operates with total mastery. This person is not a dream, but a blueprint that you must follow with a cold and steady resolve every single morning you wake up. You need to identify the traits and the skills and the mindset of this future self so that you can begin to act like them now. When you have a clear picture of your destination, the obstacles in your path stop looking like walls and start looking like stepping stones. You are no longer just existing, but moving with a purpose that others will eventually notice and respect. The second part of finding your way is identifying exactly who you refuse to become as you move through this short and precious life. You need an enemy to work away from so that you can feel the urgency of avoiding a life of stagnation and bitter regret. Think of the version of yourself that gave up on their dreams and settled for a life of quiet desperation and hollow comfort. This anti-vision serves as a powerful push that keeps you moving forward even when the path ahead feels difficult or lonely or dark. By knowing what you hate, you gain the fuel needed to protect the things you truly love and value. An enemy gives your struggle a sense of reality and a high stake that forces you to stay sharp and alert at all times. If you do not have a clear idea of what you are running from, you might find yourself slipping back into the habits of the average. You must despise the idea of being a person who let their potential rot away because they were too afraid to take a risk. This healthy fear of failure is what keeps you focused on the work when the initial excitement of a new goal has faded. You are building a wall between yourself and the mediocrity that threatens to swallow everyone who lacks a firm direction. Once you know your destination and your enemy, you must break down your vision into 3 to 5 tasks that you can do today. You are lost because you are looking at the whole mountain instead of focusing on the specific steps right in front of your own feet. These tasks must be the ones that actually move the needle and create a real change in your physical or mental reality now. Do not waste your time on busy work that makes you feel productive without actually getting you closer to the person you want to be. You must value execution over planning and results over intentions by doing the hardest things first without any hesitation. The reason you feel paralyzed is that you are overthinking the entire journey instead of mastering the simple mechanics of the current 24 hours. If you complete your 3 to 5 tasks every day, you will find that the feeling of being lost disappears almost instantly and forever. Action is the only cure for the anxiety of the unknown and the only way to prove to yourself that you are winning. You do not need to see the whole path to take the next step with a sense of authority and cold precision. Each task you finish is a vote for your new identity and a blow against the version of yourself you left behind. Direction provides you with the clarity to say no to the distractions and the people that do not help you reach your peak. When you are lost, everything looks like a possibility. But when you have a goal, everything that is not the goal is a waste. You must become a guardian of your time and your energy by ruthlessly cutting out the noise that seeks to keep you small. This narrow focus is what allows the elite to achieve in a year what the average person cannot achieve in a whole decade. You are refining your life until only the essential actions and the most meaningful relationships remain in your daily orbit. A life without a direction is like a ship without a rudder that is at the mercy of every wave and every shifting wind. You cannot expect to reach a place of sovereignty if you are letting the world decide where you should go and what you should do. By writing down your plan, you are taking the helm and deciding that you are the master of your own destiny and fate. This sense of command is what gives you the confidence to face any challenge with a heart of iron and a mind of focus. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances, but a creator who uses every situation to move closer to home. The tasks you choose today are the bricks that will eventually form the monument of your legacy for the generations that will follow you. Every small win is a building block in the construction of a character that is worthy of the success you are currently chasing. You must treat these daily requirements with a level of respect that borders on the sacred because they are your only way out. When you stop looking for a secret and start looking for the work, you find that the world begins to open up for you. This is the simple logic of a life lived with a focus on mastery and the pursuit of real excellence. The traditional education system is a factory designed to produce compliant workers rather than independent thinkers who can move with speed. You are conditioned to believe that knowledge must be acquired in a slow and linear fashion over many years of passive sitting. This mental pacing is a trap that limits your potential and makes you feel that big achievements require a lifetime of preparation. In reality, the world only cares about your ability to solve problems and create value through your specific and unique actions. You must break the habit of waiting for a syllabus to tell you that you are ready to start. True mastery is found when you decide to outpace the crowd by moving at the speed of your own hunger. Spending 12 hours memorizing facts for a test is a massive waste of the cognitive energy you should be using to build. The majority of the information you are forced to consume in a classroom has no bridge to the practical challenges of the real world. You are being taught to value the memory of a concept over the actual application of a skill that produces a result. This creates a false sense of progress while your real ability to navigate life remains underdeveloped and entirely fragile. You must reject the idea that learning is a separate phase that must happen before you are allowed to enter the arena. The only learning that counts is the kind that you can use to win. Learning how to learn is the ultimate leverage that allows you to collapse time and achieve your objectives in a fraction of the usual duration. When you master the art of rapid acquisition, you can finish 10 major projects while others are still reading the introductory chapters of a book. This efficiency comes from a cold focus on the vital information that is necessary for your current level of execution and growth. You do not need to know everything about a subject to begin making a significant impact on your environment and your bank account. By cutting out the fluff, you are reclaiming thousands of hours that would have been lost to the slow grind of the average. The only effective way to gain a new skill is to start building a real project that has actual stakes and a clear goal. You should dive into the deep end of the work and allow the gaps in your knowledge to reveal themselves through the process. When you hit a wall and get stuck, that is the exact moment you go and find the specific piece of data you need. Once you have that information, you apply it immediately and keep moving forward with a sense of urgent and focused momentum. This method ensures that everything you learn is anchored in a physical result and a memory that stays with you forever. Getting stuck in a learning loop is a form of sophisticated procrastination that feels like work but yields absolutely no tangible power. You might spend months watching videos and taking notes while never actually producing anything that the world can see or use to your advantage. This cycle of consumption creates a comfort zone that protects you from the fear of failure and the pain of being a beginner. You must realize that reading about the fire is not the same as feeling the heat and learning how to control the flame yourself. Break the loop by committing to a finished product that requires you to show up and perform in the real world. The speed of your evolution is determined by the length of the gap between learning a new concept and putting it into practice. If you wait too long to use what you have discovered, the information will rot and lose its ability to change your current reality. You must develop a bias toward action that forces you to test every theory against the cold truth of a physical challenge. This rapid feedback loop is what allows the elite to refine their strategies and sharpen their skills at a pace that looks like magic. You are not a student who is waiting for a grade, but a creator who is hunting for a victory. Directionless study is a thief that steals your focus and prevents you from ever achieving the level of sovereignty you truly desire. You must be ruthless with your attention and only permit information into your mind if it serves the specific mission you are working on. This selective ignorance is a superpower that allows you to ignore the noise of the masses and the trivia of the distracted world. By focusing only on what is useful, you are building a mind that is a precision instrument for the conquest of your goals. You are no longer a victim of a slow system, but the architect of your own rapid and relentless rise. The fear of making a mistake is what keeps you anchored in the safety of a classroom where there is no risk of actual loss. In the real world, you must be willing to break things and fail publicly so that you can learn the lessons that matter. Each time you get stuck and find your way out, you are building a level of self-reliance that no school could ever teach. This grit is the foundation of a character that is worthy of the high stakes and the great rewards of a legendary life. You are training yourself to be a person who can survive and thrive in any environment by learning on the fly. The modern world rewards the person who can adapt and produce results with a speed that defies the old rules of the slow past. You have the tools to learn anything in a weekend if you have the discipline to stay focused and the courage to start. Do not let the ghosts of your education tell you that you need permission or a certificate to begin your work today. You are the commander of your own intelligence and the judge of your own progress in the pursuit of absolute and total mastery. The faster you learn to learn, the faster you can claim the life of freedom that you have been dreaming about.